Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Emma and I help people to heal from chronic dizziness such as triple PD. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos that can help you to heal from dizziness. And if you like the video, please like it because it will help it to reach more people. So in this video today, I want to talk about the relationship between trauma and triple PD. So if we talk about what trauma actually is, well, Peter Levine, who is the developer of SomaticExperiencing, so he's a really well-known trauma expert, he describes trauma as somebody that experiences fear in the face of helplessness. So it's not necessarily something like child abuse or child neglect, sexual assault, people that experience natural disasters or go to war and effectively get PTSD. It's not necessarily those real obvious examples when we think of trauma. If we think about somebody that experiences fear in the face of helplessness, suddenly that opens up a whole nother realm so that we can say that it's not necessarily about what happened to somebody, it's more to do with the way that that person responded to what happened. So if someone's experiencing a lot of situations where they feel a lot of fear, where they feel overwhelmed, they feel like their body shuts down and they just don't know how to deal with a particular situation and they feel totally helpless, then of course, if that continues, then somebody can then start to experience trauma symptoms. So if we think about people that have triple PD or chronic dizziness, I'm sure that there has been at least one occasion, if not several occasions throughout your journey, where you've felt completely helpless and you've essentially froze in a situation. You've been really fearful. Maybe you just didn't know what was going on inside your body or how to deal with it. And as a result of that, what happens is it's called the immobility or the freeze response, where your body shuts down. It doesn't really know how to deal with a situation. And we can relate that to animals in the wild. If they're chased by a tiger, the animal will freeze essentially as a last chance of survival, so that if it gets an opportunity to run away and escape, there's this huge amount of energy that's built up in your nervous system during that time to allow them to make that escape. So in humans, the same thing happens to us. We will have a huge amount of energy that stores up in our nervous system. However, the difference is that we're not running from a tiger. We are essentially trying to run or escape from ourselves, which when you're in the moment of having a really bad dizzy episode and your body shuts down, it may feel like you don't actually get to complete that stress response. And what happens as a result of that is all of that energy that you've built up in that moment gets stored in your body and your nervous system. And if that happens and continues over a long period of time, that is when somebody can start to experience trauma symptoms. So in terms of asking the question whether can somebody with triple PD experience trauma, I think that if, as I said, you've experienced on multiple occasions where you felt completely overwhelmed and helpless, and you've experienced a lot of fear, then yes, it could well be that you then start to experience trauma symptoms as a result of that. So what about whether trauma, as in past trauma, can actually cause triple PD? Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to give a black and white yes or no answer because everybody is individual and unique. You've all had very different life experiences, but yes, I do think that it could be a possibility. There are lots of people that have experienced stressful lives. There are lots of people that have experienced a lot of trauma throughout their lives. And of course, naturally, if you've experienced a lot of stress and a lot of trauma, then you will have a more dysregulated nervous system. If you've got a lot of built up trauma energy in your system already, it could well be that the dizziness you're experiencing is just a symptom of the fact that your nervous system is dysregulated. So trauma can manifest and express itself in different ways in the body. IBS is one thing, migraines is another. Some people experience a condition called fibromyalgia or chronic pain, it can manifest and experience and show itself to you in different ways. And dizziness is very closely linked and a symptom of anxiety. Anxiety is essentially a dysregulation in the nervous system, and things like ongoing stress can cause a dysregulated nervous system and therefore anxiety. So if you can see that all of these things are really closely linked, and the one thing that I would say is that what your medical professionals should be doing is they should be taking a really detailed look at the patient's medical history. So you want to be asking questions like, what happened around the time that the dizziness first started? Was there any sort of significant stress, traumatic event? Can you piece together things that happened around that time that you could then start to say, oh, okay, maybe as a result of this happening to me, my body has responded in a way that my nervous system is now dysregulated and I'm now experiencing symptoms of that. So it's really important for your medical professionals to look at your medical history. Maybe it's just that maybe you can even start to ask those questions yourself. What have you been through in your life? Was there anything big or significant that happened around the time that your dizziness started? And hopefully that can help you to provide some answers to see that, to understand what's going on inside your body. And then once you know what happened, or you've got an idea about what happened, it can then help you to find some closure on the situation, to accept that that's what happened. Your body is now displaying symptoms that it wants your attention, it wants wellness, it wants a good quality of life. So then you can start to lean into that and find ways for you to heal and to move forwards from your trauma, because trauma isn't a life sentence. Trauma is something that you can heal. It's something that you can very slowly and steadily start to let go of and release in your body and move towards a better sense of well-being and to create a better quality of life for yourself. So on a side note to that, yes, I do think that triple PD can cause trauma. Yes, I think that trauma can cause triple PD. But I do also think that there are people out there that don't have trauma, that something happened, that maybe it was an ear infection, maybe it was a reaction to some sort of medication like the COVID jab, maybe it was another sort of illness that you've had, and then you just started to experience these dizzy symptoms that's not linked to trauma at all. And then you end up with triple PD and chronic dizziness. And then maybe the anxiety and the stress followed after that. That is a perfectly reasonable and justifiable option for what people could have gone through as well. So I'm not necessarily saying that trauma 100% has an influence over whether people experience triple PD, but I think it's just helpful to ask questions, to look back through your life experiences, look at what was happening around the time that the dizziness started, and hopefully that can help you to find some answers to allow yourself to move forwards. Okay, so the $1 million question then is, how can you heal trauma? So essentially, the way that you can heal trauma is by working with the body sensations. So it's not so much about addressing the thoughts or the beliefs, even though that is an important part to healing, but it is much more important to focus on the body sensations, what is going on inside the body, and using practices to be able to safely let go of some of that trapped or built up stress or immobility energy. So one of the ways that you can do that is tap in. So I have a video on my YouTube channel, which I will link at the end. It's called Alleviate Anxiety Fast. In that, I talk you through a tap-in routine, which is just focusing on the particular area of the body that you feel the dysregulation or the big sensation, and you tap on that area. You could also do something called EFT tap-in, which is the emotional freedom technique. So that actually talks you through more of a tap-in routine where you tap on different parts of your body. You could also do like a mindfulness meditation. So mindfulness is essentially paying attention to different parts of your body. There are lots of different YouTube videos that can talk you through mindfulness meditations. Anything from 5 minutes to much longer, half an hour, an hour. You can do whatever you wish. You can also do any sort of exercises that involve moving your body is really good at being able to let go of nervous energy or like anxiety. So something that's really good for anxiety is movement in your body. So going for a brisk walk or maybe a run, even if it's just doing something gentle like yoga or stretching, they are mindfulness based practices and exercises where you're again paying attention to what's going on inside your body. A body scan, for those of you that haven't done one before, is essentially closing your eyes, sitting down quietly, and then checking in with different parts of your body. So you may start from the feet and then work your way up to your head, noticing any sort of sensations that come up as you do so, and just really accepting them and allowing them to be there. One of the crucial things that you need to know when working with the sensations in the body is to really try to detach yourself from any sort of judgment, whether that's good or bad, and to really try to not be afraid of your body sensations. So be curious, be the observer, be the witness. Ask questions about what you're feeling in your body, try to describe it. You can give it a color if you like, and just try to track the sensation and hold some space for it. If you notice yourself becoming afraid or fearful, then just remind yourself that you're safe. Bring your attention back to your breath. You can feel your feet. And if you still do experience a lot of anxiety or a lot of fear as a result of doing this, then I probably would recommend working with a body-based therapist or another professional that can help you to feel more safe when you do these sorts of exercises. So somatic experiencing, as I said at the beginning of the video, Peter Levine, who is the developer of that, what he actually does is there are lots of people that are now trained over the world that can sit down and do somatic experiencing therapy with people. So for those people that have experienced trauma that wants to work with a professional, that can actually hold some space for you to go into some of your more difficult memories. And you don't need to go fully into the memory. You just need to go into it enough so that it actually produces some activation or some body sensations. You then just sit and observe the body sensations, which may be something like dizziness, tingling, numbness, could be tremors or shaking, and it's all perfectly safe. It is just simply the trapped energy leaving the body. And you do this with somebody that can make sure that you're safe throughout this practice. So that could mean bringing in other resources such as visualization. You're visualizing things that feel safe to you, maybe particular noises like birds singing. It could be visualizing water. You can bring in these sorts of resources that if you start to feel a bit overwhelmed, that you have something there to help you to tap into that safe space as your body starts to release and let go of some of this trapped freeze energy. So if you're interested in that, then I would encourage you to go away and look at somatic experiencing or body-based therapy. And as I said, releasing trauma has to be done through working with the body sensations. So if you can't afford therapy, maybe you might like to just try this at home by yourself. Next time you feel triggered, or if you feel anxious, or if you feel dizzy, just sit with the feelings, close your eyes, pay attention to what's going on. You can ground yourself by feeling your feet, by noticing your breath. You can place a hand on your chest to really try and be there for yourself and support yourself if things feel emotionally quite tough. And just notice the body sensations and witness them from the position of being the observer. So they're not good, they're not bad, they're not something to be afraid of, they simply just are. The more you can practice that and the more you can take the curious approach, the more calming effect that will have on your nervous system, the more that your nervous system will start to learn that these body sensations are safe, and it can start to turn down the dizziness response, the anxiety response, the stress response, whichever way your body is displaying to you that it's dysregulated, to help you bring yourself back to a sense of safety and to be able to find some relief and improve your sense of well-being and quality of life. So it really can have some tremendous healing effects on a person that's experienced trauma earlier on in your life, or if the triple PD or your dizziness has been so bad that you felt fear and you felt helpless, that you've then started to develop trauma symptoms. So it is absolutely possible to be able to safely release trauma from your body and to move towards creating a better version of yourself and being the person that you want to be, living a happy and healthy life. So I hope that that video was helpful, guys. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments section, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.